Each spirit may add a presence to a land with Dahan. Are you kidding me? We get to bonus grow. It's almost like it's a turn early.
Yes!
It's amazing.
Welcome to the Kindred Spirit Podcast, a program completely dedicated to the board game Spirit Island. On this show, we examine and discuss every aspect of the game, whether they be general tips, in-depth strategies, or silly shenanigans. Today, we're gonna try something new here, and who knows, maybe it'll stick.
I can't wait to talk about this one, Ryan.
Yeah, try new things, whatnot.
It's gonna be great.
Venture into the beyond!
Let's go!
Hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained, you know?
We have so many things we're testing out in this episode.
Yeah, you know, when you have a show like this, you always want to make sure that you have like a groundwork, a foundational thing that you focus on. But I think there's no harm in trying to do some trial and error to innovate sometimes. And, you know, maybe we can try a new thing here or there. Hey, if it sticks, great. If not, great. At least we tried, see maybe how it was received and whatnot.
And maybe it's going to be awesome. Who knows?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it won't. Also cool.
Maybe we'll crash and burn.
Yeah, I mean, that's the error. That's along with the trial. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So one thing that's actually exciting, you may be able to notice this, we are actually trying a new microphone setup. Yeah, we're getting fancy here. So we have two mics now, and we are in the trial and error phase of that too, trying to figure out, hey, maybe we can work with this and work with that. And so we definitely
And both of them are plugged in and everything.
Yeah. So it's a complete restructuring that we're just trying. Like I said, we're just trying a bunch of new things. So
trying to improve.
Yeah, and it is all in the goal of improvement. So please tell us all the feedback, honestly, about like, hey,
yes.
I like this or I didn't like that. You know, maybe one of us was louder than the other. Cool. Like, I'm just very curious to see how it's going to work out. And please be patient with us as we try to figure all these things out. It's just exciting. For your mic, you have a boom arm, which is great.
I can like play with it. It's fun.
Dude, having done a year of this podcast without boom arms, only to now be doing them again.
Well,
dude, boom arms are the best. But the thing is they cost money.
They cost money. And Ryan, I'm sure you discovered me and Laura like to talk with our hands.
Yeah. That's why there are shock mounts.
And this has a shock mount, so that will catch those lessons.
So anyway, I'm so glad to have these back again, or at least John has a boom arm on his. This mic of mine is pretty hefty. This is like a 4-pound mic, so I'm going to have to find a load-bearing arm.
That puppy is dense.
Which is dense, but
Thick boy.
I love him all the same. Anyway, so yeah, we're just trying a new system here. If it works, great. If not, great. We're just going to be trying to see if we can make it work. And it's all, like we said, in the goal of improvement.
Onward and upward.
That's right. Excelsior. That is a Latin word for onward and upward.
Oh, cool.
Another thing you may have noticed, bro, we sound ragged.
Does my voice sound really deep John voice?
Oh my word, we have had just the most ridiculous weekends apiece.
Yes.
I don't even know where to start.
Laura brought home one of those infamous sicknesses from school, working in elementary.
So
luckily no COVID, but just like the grime of the cold.
We're also in that fool's spring where the temperature goes up, then down, then up, then down, then up, then down. And when it goes from 60 degrees to 20 to 50 to 13.
And it's 22 degrees today.
Right. It's very common that sicknesses can actually flare up, flus, colds, that kind of thing.
When we talk degrees, we're talking Fahrenheit. All you EU people over there.
Yes. 60 degrees Celsius is not the same.
Much different. But yes, it affects my body when it fluctuates. I also just like to blame Laura, too, for getting me sick.
Yeah, I mean,
for bringing sick
from
elementary school where she teaches.
I was at choir practice the other day. I'm like, where's John? And she was like, oh, he's just basically hibernating. He's been asleep all weekend.
I slept for like 16 hours one day. I'm like, where did that day go? Who knows?
I hate sleeping that long.
I know. You feel so disoriented.
I know. It's the worst. I don't even know where to begin with my weekend. Oh my goodness.
You had a rough weekend.
I'm going to gloss over the 14-hour board game marathon that I had to MC, which was great, but it left me no time to do anything. Mm-hmm. I was in a car accident, which sucked because I'm currently house sitting for a friend of ours, and it's kind of hard when you don't have a car. But then the insurance isn't going to pay for it, so I have to get it out of that shop into another. but the shop that I wanted to take it to was full, so I had to wait.
Ugh.
And then, for whatever reason, on Friday and Saturday, I just kept waking up. And have you ever just like, okay, I wake up, look at the clock. It's 40 minutes past what it was before. So I go back to bed. But then I wake up and look at the clock. 50 minutes have passed. Crap. So I go back to sleep. Wake up like 30 minutes later. Look at the clock. And I'm like, why am I constantly waking up? And so like I wasn't able to get any sleep at all. So I wasn't refreshed or anything. And then
because you need that deep sleep to feel refreshed.
That REM deep sleep.
Yeah.
And I was just not getting it. So I'm already kind of just like really groggy. I didn't really have a whole lot of sleep. And then I had that board game marathon, which was great, but it was taxing. A friend of mine has a cousin who comes in. He lives in a very rural area, so he never gets to do board games, and he just lives in the middle of nowhere. So whenever he's in town, we just have like a massive board game-a-thon. And he said, hey, I'm really busy. Do you mind if you just take all the board games and just you head that up? And so as I commonly am a board game MC for all of these various groups that we're in, I didn't mind, and he told me a month in advance, thankfully, so it was a great time. We had probably one of the most kickin' games of For Sale I've ever played.
Ooh.
A good Marvel United, which they had never done.
Love that game.
Space Base, which was phenomenal, and then we ended the night on a fantastically epic game of Western Legends, which was awesome. It was very taxing, but then I had to go to bed quick because we had choir the next day at like 10 o'clock in the morning. The moment choir performance was over, I had to go to my friend's house to cat sit, and then immediately I had to go shopping because there's no food in the house, so it needs to happen. But the problem is I usually do my shopping on Saturdays, so I couldn't even do it on Friday either because of the stupid car crap, and because Saturday was completely at the board game thing, couldn't do it then either, so I had to do it right now, but I had to be back because we have another concert coming up on the 10th that we had to go back for at 3:30, which is a lot earlier than the 4:30 practice that we do. So then the moment that was done at like 7 o'clock, I had to go home immediately because I had to get to bed. But then guess what? I go and have some sausages that I grilled because I wanted to have some protein. I love breakfasts for dinners. I love
Brenner.
Yeah, Brenner.
So good, so tasty.
And then the sausages must have been bad because I had severe food poisoning, which is the worst. This was yesterday, by the way. And I'm like, ugh. So I just felt terrible. So I had to go and return the meal that I had to sender. So I had to yodel in the porcelain throne, and it was awful. It was 11:30. So I upchuck all of that. Sorry for the nastiness, but that is like the worst feeling ever. Your nose is on fire. Your teeth feel like complete weird, fuzzy chalk. Ugh. You have tears coming down your eyes. You're shaking. You're shivering. Yikes. I am now starving because, I have no more food in me. I look at the clock. I'm like, it's 11:30. I gotta go to bed. I haven't had any sleep. So then I go to bed. I'm like, okay, well, at least I'll get 7.5 hours of sleep. That's like more than I've had for this past 2 days. So, okay, this is gonna be great. So then I fall asleep, and then at 1:40, I hear all this ruckus. I see white flashing lights, red flashing lights. I hear yelling. My brother storms into the room at 1:40 and says, our neighbor's house is on fire. We gotta go. We gotta go now. I am so confused. Surprisingly, my head is killing me. I felt as if a mule had kicked me in the back of the head. I felt as if I had a rhinoceros sitting on my chest because I had a sharp pain in my chest.
Probably from the fumes.
And I could just smell smoke everywhere.
Yeah.
Go to the living room, smoke. Hallway, smoke. Kitchen, smoke. Look out the window, orange. My neighbor's house is on fire. Wow. I am so confused. I have no idea what's going on. I'm like...
Which board game did you grab first?
Speed on. Okay. So I was just delirious.
My premium
I'm like,
tokens!
what is happening? I'm like, oh my word, just let me sleep. And so coming off of the food poisoning, my head was dying, like the food poisoning the other day, along with the asphyxiation. Like Wildfire had played asphyxiating smoke, and I did not like it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is when we woke up, the firefighters were dousing our neighbor's house with the fire hose already. So they had already, by the time I woke up, had arrived on scene, blocked off all of the roads, gotten the thing hooked up, and were blasting that thing. So I don't know how long I was breathing in those fumes, but I just couldn't sleep. So it wasn't until like 3:30 that I went actually back to bed, and my chest was killing me.
Luckily, you said everyone was safe. No one was in the house, right?
Yes. Thank goodness my neighbor's house was vacant. He is deployed in the Navy. He is like there maybe once, twice a year. We have lived here for 3 years, and we have seen him maybe like twice or thrice.
Sure.
Just because he's always deployed. So all this tangent to say that just like, oh my goodness, the only reason why I'm still talking right now because I have like a grand total of maybe like 7 or 8 hours of sleep over the past 4 days. is because of pharmaceuticals. That is the only reason why I'm still awake. So if we sound ragged, I am so sorry, but that is why. I have a caffeine pill that I'm surviving on, and you're surviving on
Dayquil.
a Dayquil and NOS.
Yeah.
What a combo.
Yeah, love NOS.
So I am so sorry. But
because usually if we were both feeling this rough, ragged, and tired, we wouldn't record. But we had to get this record session in. Mm-hmm. This was a special one, y'all. This was important.
Oh, my word. So we wanted to try something new, and I'm so sorry that I know you were expecting Blitz 2 to come in, and we will.
Yeah,
it's coming. It's great.
Oh,
but we had the best game ever. And so we were like, one of the things that we've done on our Discord is we have a battle reports channel, and we have just had so much fun just watching people come in and just talk about their battle reports. Yes. This and that, and I had this character do this, but then I pulled this.
I taught my sibling this. Me and my girlfriend did this, so cool. And they got to play this spirit for the first time.
Do you think people would like maybe the odd or occasional battle report that we did? So this is a thought we had. This is that new thing we kind of maybe want to try. Maybe
test the waters. Maybe y'all will like this.
Sure, if not, that's fine. Just let us know. Like, hey, are battle reports something you'd like to see? I mean, I know we do like battle reports when we do our analysis series for the various things, but
in the past we've talked about like, I want to do this theme team or this scenario with this, or I want to try out this with these people and this difficulty. Will you all at home want to hear these game sessions that we have?
No is a viable answer. If not, totally fine. Like I said, this is the thing we're trying to test the waters on. That we're trying to try. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool. So we thought that the most poetic thing to do was to get our Russia 6 rematch.
Yes.
Because if you remember, Russia was the only adversary from the Adversary series that we didn't beat.
We lost by 3 fear.
Oh,
do you remember that?
So
we're like, the event will save us. No, the fear cards will save us.
And they usually do. Oh, that was so close.
It still burns in my soul.
We were just like, we got to.
We have to.
We have to.
Burn it down.
And yeah, we have the itinerary of what we want to do for like the current scenario series. And, spirit analysis coming up and these various other things and one-shots. But like in the back of our minds.
It's just gnawing at our brains.
Yeah, we always knew that we wanted to get back
at Russia
6
because it was the first one in our Adversary series, and it just started off with a loss, which was fine, but it was just like kind of leaves a little bad taste in your mouth.
Like no,
it's like I know I can beat them.
Right, I gotta put points on the board. And boy, what a different game this was, yo.
Wow. Clearly it was a game because we had to record it.
Right. Yeah. No, seriously. And the difference between this one and that one was incredible.
Night and day.
So, it was a 2-player game. You and I. Laura was working once again. That's fine.
That's
totally fine. So,
well, she's already stated she hates Russia.
That's true. Yeah. Let's remind you of that.
The 2-day affair of that one Russia game we had. She's like, I will never play them again. And I said, okay.
I remember she liked Hepsbok.
Yes.
But she hated
something about the puzzle of Hepsbok, like making things undurable, like moving them into blighted lands or something.
And she liked that fun game of taking a damaged town and moving it into a blighted land. And the moment it goes in there,
destroyed,
and it just dies.
That was fun for her.
That's just different. That's
and everyone likes different things, right?
Yeah.
So
also she hates the explorers that can't die, which is something that we kind of address in this one. But more on that later. So I played as Downpour.
And I played as Fractured.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it's true. Downpour and Fracture are quite good spirits, I will grant. But Downpour is one that recently I've just realized, man, they are just solid.
And you've just been really rocking your games with Downpour.
What a fun time.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that there's just so many different kinds of opening plays, and there's so many routes you can go with.
And each game I've seen you play as Downpour has been different because you kind of spam whatever minors you get. So usually, you become like...
Well, I'm a minor power spammer.
You love minor power.
I do.
And then with
them,
Downpour,
it's easier to spam because it's...
So each game's kind of different. It's like, when am I going to get this game? Type of thing.
And I know how much you love that.
Love Fracture.
Days That Never Were.
Love the Days deck. I'm like, and that's almost like a gamble, a casino type thing. Like you pull the slots. What's going to be in my Days deck?
Oh,
you
man.
know?
Right. Another thing that I kind of want to keep doing myself, I know a lot of you out there do this, but I usually don't, but I kind of want to challenge myself. I've been in a challenging mood, and I don't mean like challenging mood as in I want to do things that are ridiculously hard because I still enjoy medium difficulty games. I like easy difficulty games when I'm playing with beginners because I love seeing the joy of them learning how cool this game is. And I also like medium difficulty games because I feel as if that's just like a more casual, I don't have to like brain burn myself.
You're right.
I do like the occasional high difficulty challenge like this because I like having that thrill of the hunt, in this case, literally.
Yeah.
And it's fun to get that achievement unlocked. It's just usually, it gives me brain burn. Like our England game. Wow. I was just like,
3
I can't even be happy with this. Later, I will be happy with this. Remember? Like I just, enough. I just need to go home.
It doesn't even look like a win.
Right? So anyway, what I mean is I want to challenge my norms and kind of shake up my own gameplay.
Definitely.
You know? So in this way, what I'm talking about is I want to challenge what I usually do in picking my board. I want to start doing random boards.
Okay.
So
I've been noticing that.
So what I do is I just I look up at the ceiling with my hands. I'm just doing go fish with the boards. Yeah. And then whichever my hand lands on is the board I'll play. In this case, I got B board.
And I followed suit. I also wanted to do something random. And, if Ryan's doing it, you want to do what your teammate's doing. And I don't want to cheat. But I also did random and got C board. I was so happy. Because
we love a C board.
It's my favorite.
Usually, no joke, it's among my favorites as well.
Like you said, so easy to touch many of the lands. You can get to 2 spots and almost touch every land on the board.
Right.
And I like that the jungle is closer inland type of thing.
It also doesn't have any lands that are repeat lands.
Right.
Adjacently next to each other. Yes, I know that when you combine the boards together...
Some of them are going to repeat.
Right. Your borderland will connect perhaps with someone else's borderland and make a double. I get it. But on itself, it's not like B board that has that double wetland, for instance.
Right
or
next
something
to
like
each
that.
other. Right.
And it's certainly not D board with that crazy northern wetland.
Goodness.
Yo, this game was so much faster than last time. We had a Terror 2 turn 5 victory. Oh, yes! Oh my word, it was so good. We never got that second bomb.
No.
We never got that stupid stage 3 bomb.
If you can win before the stage 3 bomb, I recommend it.
So good. Yes, I highly recommend winning before it gets tough.
I recommend winning against Russia. Try it out.
Oh, and the reason why I felt, you know what? This is going to be a good game. Turn 1, what's the event card that we burned? Farmers!
I think I got up and straight up cheered. I think I just started jumping.
We just pulled it off. I went, and you went, yeah!
Like a school child, just jumping up and down.
It was very embarrassing to act in such a way. But guess what? I don't care.
I've lost to Farmers on turn 2, so let me be happy.
So yeah, that's how I knew this was going to be a good game. But it is Russia 6, so
you're so right, Ryan.
Sometimes
in playing a game, you can just start things are going to start going our way.
Yeah,
you can feel it.
Yeah,
where it's this might be our day. Maybe I should play the lotto or something.
Yep. And then, as if it couldn't get any better, trust me, by the way, having good event fortunates for me is just because I never, ever have that. So it must be your stroke of luck, John, this time.
You're welcome. I brought my good event vibes, helped out.
See, the thing is, I usually bring good fear card luck.
Definitely.
I have terrible blight card and event card luck.
Right.
Because it is freaking memory fades or downward spiral every
Why can't we ever get backs against the wall?
Or 8 from Lesser Spirits.
Seriously, one of those amazing, we never get those blight cards.
And remember what we had against England? Oh, hey, there's more fear in the fear pool.
No.
Come on.
As if it wasn't hard enough.
Right. Anyway, so in line with the fact that we burned Farmers on the very first turn 2, we had your favorite Years of Little Rain.
Bonus grow? Why, thank you.
Do you want to go ahead and explain what that card is for those that might not remember what it is?
Yes.
Because this one, trust me, is worth remembering.
So the top portion, honestly, not that great.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those where you have to pull a minor power, and based on what it gets, you either add blight or you don't type of thing. So if you pull something that doesn't have water, you add blight.
Ooh.
It's not great. But it's the bottom portion where the spirits are able to pay. That's the juicy part. So if you have enough water, which is, 4 per player.
Right.
Then...
And hello, I'm downpour.
Each spirit may add a presence to a land with Dahan. Are you kidding me? We get to bonus grow. It's almost like it's a turn early.
Yes! Yes!
It's amazing. It's the only event
we
able
got
to
it.
do that.
It was literally the first event that we got. Oh my word, it was so good. But the reason why it was so good was because of what you had in your Days That Never Were.
So speaking of that casino draw of like Days That Never Were deck, in my minor Days That Never Were was Elemental Boon.
Elemental Boon.
One of my favorites. Might be one of the strongest minors in the game.
Oh, it's so good. And so the thing was, I actually took a page after your book. Remember when I was talking about doing Downpour in a different way?
Yeah.
I usually like to go growth 3 and do that a few times.
Yes,
but
build up your hand a little bit.
Right. And I usually don't like to do growth 2 super early because although it gets you those 2 extra water elements, you have to discard 2 cards. Which is, it's fine. There's nothing conceptually evil about that. It's just like,
it stings.
In the early game, I'm usually not super supportive of that idea. But I actually went and took a risky growth 2.
Yeah, baby.
And boy, did it pay.
We needed
Why? Because on my first turn, I did growth 3, so I got 1 presence pulled from top track just so I can get that water element. But then when I did growth 2 and got 2 presents out there, I pulled both from bottom so I can get that move presence and that second water element. So I wanted to take advantage of that isolation trick that can actually loophole around Russia's forever existing and surviving explorers. So I had spammed already Dark Skies, Luce's Stinging Rain, because that one allows you to isolate lands.
Sure.
And so it has a water element on it. And so I just so happen to have 2 water from my tracks.
Perfect.
And 1 from Dark Skies and 2 from my growth option. So I had 5.
That's only 5, though.
Right.
Then comes in johnboi.
But then you had Elemental Boon covering the last of the 3 water.
Got those last 3 waters, baby.
Oh, it was so good because then we got to grow. I pulled from bottom track, so I got that second card play, which is huge. Oh my word. Yes, it's true that Downpour can survive with just 1 card play.
You can,
but getting a second is so big.
Because it's weird where Downpour, you can kind of have multiple card plays because it repeats, but you're repeating the same thing.
One. So in a way you get multiple card plays, but the kind of cards that you are doing is just the same kind. But, yeah, I mean...
Getting 2 card plays for any spirit is nice. Here, I'll reiterate why isolating is so good. For the second level of Russia, it says, a sense of impending danger. The first time each action would destroy an explorer, if possible. One of those explorers is instead pushed, and a fear when you do so. So... If possible is huge here.
Huge.
What happens when you isolate something?
You can choose to have them get killed because you can choose whether or not it is isolated.
Yes.
So it is no longer possible. Now, I do want to say that it's actually a choice, and both choices are viable. The choice to let them explore or not, because if you don't isolate it and you would kill them and they run away instead, that is getting you fear,
which is good.
And fear is always good because this means that there are some spirits that have really good access to small damage, and so they, in a way, can become like a semi-fear spirit.
Yes, we know about the bombs, but you still need fear to win the game.
Right, and those who had fear already, like Shroud of Silent Mist or Fangs, who are really good against explorers, can just like almost, maybe not double, but like increase their fear yield by a decent margin.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Seriously. But the thing that was so great with isolating these lands and killing these explorers was because of one of the last parts of Years of Little Rain with the Beast Attack.
Oh yeah. Beast Attack. So each beast deals 2 damage. Remove any token that destroys a building.
Yes, if they remove building, that's fine. I can accept that. But it's the Explorers.
Yeah, so
it's the Explorers that we want to kill.
And we were getting fear for those.
It worked out so perfect. I'm like, are you kidding me? I took a gamble on growth 2, and it got me more water.
Paid off in spades.
It paid off in spades. And that never happens.
No.
So we got Years of Little Rain right at the start.
Bonus growth.
And we were able to afford it with just my cards that I had played.
And Elemental Boon.
So I didn't have to forget other cards or discard cards from my hand or something. Oh, it was great. That's one of the reasons I'm like, oh man, this is...
You had a look in your eye when you saw that. And I got excited because I love Years of Little Rain.
And we didn't want to like get ahead of ourselves. But we're like, bro, I'm feeling so good.
But I was a little scared. I'm like, do we have enough water? And then you're like, dude, I had growth 2. And I was like...
And I did growth 2.
I did no, you did growth too. So because it's hard to keep track of everything going on in the game.
You told me to do it.
I told you and you listened.
I just expected you to ignore me.
I usually do. No, we're friends. I promise we're friends.
So yeah, that kind of fortunate usually doesn't happen for me. It was great.
The stars aligned.
But these aligning stars didn't last long.
So where do they keep going? Talk about those invader cards. We've talked enough about the events. So
the events went well. But the invader deck, not so much. So, remember we always talk about how very often actually, when we burn the card from stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3, it's like the same one.
It's always the same one.
The other side of that coin happened here. The last stage 1 card was Wetland.
Okay, that's okay.
And then the first stage 2 card was Wetland.
Not again.
And then we hit the first bomb in the fear deck.
Yep.
And guess what it was?
You already know at home. Say it with us. Coastal Lands.
Are you kidding me?
Is this a joke?
And that sucked because I was on B board. I have a coastal wetland.
It sucked for you. It sucked for me. I'm over on D board, Ryan.
You have both
my coastal lands are wetlands.
Right. Wetland. Coastal land. So we're both like, you gotta be kidding me. And so we're like, well, that was fun while it lasted.
This is why I don't do random. I would have, had I not done random. I take it all back. Why did I get random? I got D board.
The folly of it. The hubris.
No.
So it was hilarious because like when it happened, I just looked up. I looked at you. You looked at me. We're just...
Well, crap.
Like, all of our energy, all of our, like, comedic, happy laughing, we're just like...
Remember when I was dancing?
That got real pretty quick.
Remember when I was dancing about farmers? That feels like an eternity.
To dance, and it sucked.
But isn't that what's kind of cool about this game? The highs and lows?
Yes.
That's why we keep playing it. That's why we keep coming back.
What a reversal.
Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen, even in the invader deck.
It was hilarious, because when we looked at each other, we had the same response. We went, well... Time for majors.
Cracked knuckles.
Cracked knuckle. Let's see if I can do some here. Hey, that's pretty good.
That sounded good.
Not bad. So, we're like, all right, we need majors, and what did you have in your Days That Never Were again?
Speaking of that Days deck, I pulled Sea Monsters.
Boy, this, very much a relief to see that, especially against Russia.
Especially with me on D board with coastal wetlands.
Right, and they just hit the coasts so hard.
Yeah.
And finding that was like, yes. Finally. So we had accidentally went for a beast build now.
Which is rare for both of these spirits.
Right. But the thing is they honestly have a good flexibility to do a lot.
Sure.
Honestly, I mean, Downpour can be whatever.
Right? And then same with Fractured.
Right.
I am basically a support in whatever my
and
Days
you can also help anyone.
Yes.
Too. Because you can tailor your gameplay style in a way that really helps certain people more than others. I'm going with Lightning. Let me give you Reclaim.
Yes.
I'm playing with Downpour. Let me repeat you, buddy.
Exactly. Extra card plays, buddy.
Right. And it worked out great finding sea monsters because of Years of Little Rain.
That kind of like jump-started the whole beast being on the offensive.
Rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in tandem with the fact that what we did is we just kept going after those stupid explorers. Yes. And since we were isolating the lands, we could actually
get rid of them. Yeah.
Which was huge.
It was working out for us.
It worked out great. It reminded me of something that we did for our Dahan Insurrection game, which is coming up later.
What is time? Talk about Fractured. Days That Never Were?
But we'll get to that some other time. So, I was very happy because on my next pull, when I tried to go for a new power...
Yeah, speaking of finding cards...
Found Guardian Serpents.
Whoa.
And I was like, okay, this is working out great. We have some terrible Invader card luck, but we have some good event card luck, and we're actually finding some good cards, and we kept finding Beast cards. So we're like, you know what? Let's just
lean into
work with the hand that we're dealt.
I guess we're Beast Spirits now.
Let's do it. We got to. Push has come to shove. We need to take the opportunity that is right in front of us. Do not punch the gift horse in the mouth that is looking right at us, and just go with it.
Well, my coasts are about to be decimated. I need a beast and defense.
Right, seriously. So, Guardian Serpents, once again, fantastic card. It is a 1-costing fast power that can go to any spirit, and it says add 1 beast in one of target spirit's lands. Okay. Then, if target spirit has a sacred site in that land, defend 4.
So guess who started making sacred sites along the coast? This guy.
Nice. So we had beasts on the coast, and so it was so great because I just went and spammed that sucker on John, And it was phenomenal because like Beast defend 4, Beast defend 4, Beast defend 4, Beast defend 4.
Repeat. Man, so, I love having downpour on my team, Ryan. I love all these repeats.
I mean, it was in the late game it started to do a lot more stuff, but getting it in our mid game was actually really helpful.
Get our footing.
Right, because I was repeating like consistently twice, thrice by this time. And oh my word, it was great because, like we said, it paired with his sea monsters on the coast, and that was phenomenal. If I'm not saying the first time we got like 7 fear.
7 fear from those beasts.
Good. And in a 2-player game, that's almost a fear card.
Yeah, that's great for sea monsters.
Right. And then the thing that is so great is you used Slip the Flow of Time to let me reclaim Gift of Abundance so that we could have you repeat sea monsters again to get 11 fear the second time.
It was incredible.
It was insane, but what was so great, we had this feedback loop of I help you, you help me, I scratch your back.
You reclaim that, and then I can repeat, and then
so that I can do Gift of Abundance on you.
Yes.
It was just going back and forth. It was like the ping pong of happy.
Because sea monsters, what an incredible fear card.
Oh my goodness. And we needed it. And in a 2-player game, it was phenomenal.
It turns into a fear spam card.
But once again, yes, I know I've said it before, but I just have to say it again. Foundation Sink in the Mud.
Here we go again.
Did work. Honestly, I mean, it is basically an alternate Jungle Hungers that you get to start with. It is a slow power that is in a land that you are in, deal 2 damage to a town. Okay, so you can just pop a town. Cool,
whatever.
What makes it legendary is that if target land is a wetland, you may deal instead 1 damage to each building.
Nice.
Oh, hey, guess what? Beasts are taking out the explorers, and where did they go? Were they crazy on the wetlands?
Yep.
Yes. So, what this means is that if you play that card 3 times, you nuke every building. That is why it reminds me of Jungle Hungers, because Jungle Hungers is good on Explorers Towns and later cities.
Yeah.
But Foundation Sink in the Mud is good against cities, towns.
Buildings.
Sure, not the Explorers, but our beasts were actually doing a really good job.
Us, yeah.
So the thing was, though, it wasn't enough to just play it normally slow. But thankfully, yet again, we had an amazing clutch pull from Fractured with
Sky Stretches to Shore.
Sky Stretches to Shore. And since you kept proccing Slip the Flow of Time, letting me to reclaim stuff, with Sky Stretches, I was allowed to play both Foundations and Gift of Power.
Ooh.
Fast, which was phenomenal. So playing Foundations in the fast phase and repeating that sucker was great.
Yeah.
Because you made it fast, then I could just immediately repeat that sucker and just clear out a wetlands right before they were about to attack us there. And hey, every now and then we had 3 explorers in a spot. It was really good.
Oh, of course.
To just completely wipe that clean. So we needed that every now and then. It was great. But the thing is John having to constantly allow me to do reclaims meant that he was constantly doing growth 3. And what does that mean for Fracture, John?
That means I'm not reclaiming.
No.
So I need some type of powers. I'm not adding to my hand because Growth 2 is adding a power to my hand.
Right.
And Growth 1 is reclaiming cards back. So my personal deck was dwindling.
Right. It kind of reminded me on how sometimes certain spirits can do something really cool if they constantly do the same action over and over and over again.
Right.
In Green's and Might Earth's case, or just Earth's case, you can do a Growth 1 reclaim loop spam with some great effect for various things.
Honestly.
In Green's case, you can do Gift of Proliferation all the time. In Earth's case, that means you can do the Fruitful Destruction combo all the time.
Yeah.
And it's great. In here, you just kept allowing me to do reclaims. That's the good. Bad news, though, your hand was getting pretty dry.
Yeah, I was not able to get those moon and sun elements to let you reclaim.
So we had found a good loop here with John constantly letting me reclaim to get Foundation Sink in the Mud.
But it was affecting me and Ryan.
Right, Gift of Abundance. But we quickly discovered that we needed to keep this going for those various cards. So when I found Gift of Power and I pulled it, we were like, hey, wait a minute. This could be the fix.
This could work.
Or an alternate fix with this loop that you were in. So that is why it was so great that John let me keep reclaiming Gift of Power, because then I could help him with his reclaim cycle problem.
Yes, keep adding
Honestly, it worked really well.
Yeah, it was great.
Because like, bam, immediate card. Repeat that thing, immediate card. And like we said, we needed majors at this point. And allowing John to just get those majors that he needed.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that later.
Gift of Power.
And trust me,
good.
This was so good. And we'll get into the things that you were able to do with it. But Gift of Power has the perfect elements for Downpour. I wish it had air, but it does have moon, which is like, okay.
Beggars can't be
but
choosers.
It has water, earth, and plant.
Perfect.
Which is exactly what Downpour needs. Because I had unlocked the air on the top track, John came in once again with a clutch elemental boon to get me those 2 additional air so that I could start consistently unlocking a fully upgraded rain and mud suppressed conflict.
Well, those 2 air would help me out too for my innate first look of the time.
Which means I could get invaders to have -1 health, letting me, as Downpour, use foundations only twice
Saves you an
to
energy.
nuke the lands.
Yeah.
Because now towns have 1 health and cities have 2. So now, instead of having to play foundations 3 times on a land to clear it of all the buildings, I only need to play it twice.
Which is big. Honestly, saving 1 energy goes a long way
with Downpour.
Especially with Downpour
Seriously.
and repeats or even choice events. Things like this matter. Saving 1 energy, it sounds minuscule, but it's not. Especially against level 6 Russia difficulty 11.
And trust me,
it matters.
you need all the stops and all the conveniences of luck, fortunate, all the good omens you can get your hands on with Russia.
The stars do align sometimes.
Right. So it was a fight back and forth. Look at all these stars that didn't align and the ones that did.
It happens.
But because of constantly spamming Gift of Power, what were you able to find?
So in the major power deck, I was able to find Sleep and Never Waken. Oh my goodness.
And why is that so good against Russia, johnboi?
So first, invaders skip all actions and target lands. Fine, it's good. I like invaders skip action powers.
Were they trying to do extra ravages?
Yeah, exactly. Builds and all that stuff.
Right.
But 1 fear per 2 explorers this power remove 2 explorers, and then the threshold, remove up to 6 explorers. Remove. Does that skip around destroying Russia? Does that skirt?
It's
Swipe? Skirt?
But the thing that is so good about that is not only is it remove, but when you usually hear remove, you're like, oh crap, I can't take advantage of Russia's built-in fear-generating mechanics.
Right.
But this card generates fear.
Gives you fear with
so
those
it's
remove.
Like the best of both.
It was incredible. You could play Gift of Power on me. I made that power fast.
I mean, that was a clutch pull.
Yeah, I got it in the fast. And because Sleep and Never Waken is fast, I played it right away.
Right, seriously.
Talk about daisy chaining.
Right, seriously.
Things, right?
Right. I mean, we were talking about that with Blitz, and every now and then that happens in a normal game, too.
Right, because I had Sky Stretches, so I made Gift of Power fast.
Bam.
You allowed me to draw. I played it right away. It was amazing.
And here's the thing that's so great. Since you had spam Growth 3 so often, you were doing fine on energy.
Oh, yeah, I just kept spamming it. I just kept
doing, hey, look at that.
Growth option 3 and get all this 2 energy as much as I want.
Seriously. So we had some speed bumps in the game.
Oh, sure.
We started off on the right foot, and then that stupid wetland coastal land was just like, oh, dang it.
Oh, it was the worst.
It was the worst. But we were able to get some of these good cards, and it felt as if, okay, we're gaining back some ground.
It's kind of like one of those boxing matches where it's like maybe
the
some
momentum
rounds
is coming back.
Yeah, it's like boom, boom. You take some punches, you take some hits in the guts, but then Eager Explorers came up in the event deck.
Event luck went in.
And then Ryan's like, this is why I want to play
and
Beast
it
Command.
Went back to normal.
Here we go. The Beast Command argument. Again, that I've heard a billion times.
Oh, come on. You like a Beast Command.
Command's fun. It's fun. It's a fun mix-up.
I know you do. Don't lie.
Let me read what Eager Explorers do. Okay, here we go. So it says, after the first successful build action, add 1 explorer to an adjacent land without invaders.
You know how much fun we have with the word add.
You can't get around it. And especially with Russia Explorers.
Right.
That we can't kill.
Right.
So, not every game is smooth sailing, right?
No, yeah, and you're going to have those speed bumps.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
So it's like, oh no, we can't get around this, and now there's another explorer getting out there.
Right.
That's double damage that's harder to kill.
Mm-hmm. So it was like one of those things where it's like, dude, this game is starting to get, pretty hanky-panky.
Yeah.
But thankfully, near the end, you found Domesticated Animals Go Berserk, one of our favorites.
It's like a tried and true.
We keep getting it, too.
And it wasn't my days deck. It was just one I just found when I was gaining
Honestly, one of the
powers.
reasons I love the card is just the zoomed-in shot of that goat. I love it. I love this goat.
It's another beast adding power.
It's another beast adding power.
With a moon threshold, which is so easy to get as fractured. I have moon for days.
Right. And I found Haunted by Primal Memories. I'm sorry. Is that a defend card that generates fear?
Yes.
It was at this moment we're like, well, time to transition to a fear spirit.
Let's go to fear. But both those cards utilize beast, which was cool. We were like fully beast fear spirits.
Right. And Haunted by Primal Memories, just, range 2 of a sacred site. As Downpour, I can make those just with ridiculous ease. Because, hey, I can be like, beep, beep, and just move them for my presence tracks. There's 1 fear, defend 3, but if beasts are present, it's 3 fear instead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we have beasts for days with guardian serpents, sea monsters, and now domesticated animals? Like, we were spawning beasts.
And so it was just, this is where we transition once again to our favorite crutch, the fear. Yes, tiger don't change their stripes, and we were causing those tigers, metaphorically with beasts, to cause a ton of fear.
I feel like, I'm pretty sure we had a beast in every land.
Yeah. Honestly, I think there's multiple. 2 that didn't?
Maybe 2, yeah.
I think most of them were on the coast.
Yeah, one
just
of them. Just
because sea monsters just kept going. We kept spamming that sucker.
Yeah, that's true.
But we got to this hilarious thing. I've never done this before. I've never had this happen, which was just hilarious. So, Haunted by Primal Memories was so great for that air because then John didn't need to play Elemental Boon on me so I can get Rain and Mud Suppressed Conflict.
I'm always happy to be supportive.
Yes.
But when you allow me to
in the end game, your card play needs to be careful.
Sometimes I need it to focus on the lands.
It needs to be properly and intentionally spent. So, it was great that I was able to get some good air elements on my own because I got it from that card as well as my top track.
Right.
And because of that fear spam, we were able to get those 4 fear cards needed to get to Terror 2. But then something happened that never happened before, and it was hilarious.
So, we were in Terror level 2. We got past those 4 fear cards, and I had Absolute Stasis in my hand.
And between Sea Monsters and Foundation Sink, our cities we actually had nixed. With the beasts continually stopping explorers from building, and those 2 cards I just mentioned, we actually had a decent throttle on the building placement.
Well, we had 1 town left in the lands.
The cities were gone. And so we're like, wait a minute. Uh-oh. We got 1 town left. And so I was like, you just want to do the honors?
Here we go. So I played Absolute Stasis, and the card reads, target land and everything in it ceases to exist. Boom! Victory.
Suck on that,
Screw
Russia.
you, Russia.
Get out of here,
That town doesn't exist. GG.
LOL.
We won.
Bye.
What? Oh, man, that felt so good.
Oh, that felt so good. It felt so good to be so dismissive.
Just Fracture doing Fracture things,
That's
right?
Just
the Time Lord saying, oh, you don't exist anymore.
LOL. No,
that town
anymore.
Doesn't exist in time.
Dude, great game.
Wow.
I'm excited with it.
I'm getting shivers just like thinking
about
it.
It's fun. And every now and then you're going to have like these happy giddies sometimes. Because like, when are we going to get such great card pull luck? And sometimes such great event card luck. I wish I had this kind of event card luck, with the exception of a few, more often.
Yeah.
Because then I'd be a lot more favorably minded towards these things. Honestly, what did you think about Downpour and Fracture as a team?
It was very cool because you are able to move Dahan a lot, and I was able to make them. So we kind of were making these little armies that were fighting
and that helped with our Dahan build that we did. We
were so Dahan focused with our defend cards. And they were doing all the destroying for us.
Right. And, okay, it was such a great pairing because, honestly, this was like team, repeat, and reclaim.
Yeah.
It was so good because Fracture lets Downpour get another much-needed card play.
Yeah. Early, right?
Right. So the thing was I had pulled my second card play because of Years of Little Rain.
Yeah.
By turn 3, I had 2 card play, but then you were giving me a third.
Exactly.
And if Downpour gets up to 3 card play by turn 4...
Broken.
Oh, it's so much fun. I felt like I had stepped through a door that I wasn't supposed to have had unlocked.
Exactly. And I wasn't the only one giving support. That gift of abundance, letting me repeat things over and over and over again. So strong.
Seriously. One of the things that was just so great to see was, honestly, to me, this game really demonstrated Downpour's and Fractured's flexibility.
Yeah.
I mean, it really let them both shine because they were both able to do damage, both able to do fear if we needed to.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always known Downpour can go fear, but we also did beast stuff as well.
Tons of beast stuff.
And it was just so solid.
I think the repeating of Guardian Serpents really helped us get into that beast mode early. You know?
Yeah, seriously.
That was good.
Yeah. And thankfully, we were able to make it work because there weren't a whole lot of adjacent lands on Seaboard for you, which was great.
I, again, love being on Seaboard.
It was kind of weird to get lucky somewhere, but not
like lucky with my tile draw. You know, it's like, good, Seaboard.
Because it's random.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally random.
Yep. So honestly, this was so much faster than our Season 1 Russia game.
It felt freeing.
Yes.
Weight off our back.
Yes.
That we were able to crush the new victor, right? They're the new kids on the block, difficulty 11.
Yeah.
And we stomped them.
Right. I mean, yes, with some difficulty. I mean, we blighted a few times.
Again, it's difficulty 11, level 6. And no game's going to be easy, right?
No. And especially against max level
adversaries. Russia, no.
No. Heck no. I mean, it's difficulty 11 for crying out loud.
But it was quick.
It felt so good to stick it to the man.
Turn 5.
Because, I mean, we've been waiting for this win for a while.
Yeah.
And to do it in such epic fashion.
With non-clutch counter picks, right?
Yes. I mean, hey, Downpour being able to isolate.
That's true.
Yeah, it was kind of nice.
But we weren't using beast users. We weren't using lure.
And we became beast users.
Which is cool. You know, we adapted.
Right.
Isn't that what we're supposed to do in this game?
Right. It's a game of change. It's a game of adaptation.
What was that thing Ted said?
Sometimes you're looking for a katana, but what you find is just, well, I got a chainsaw and a bunch of scalpels. Let's make it work.
That's what we did. You know, we didn't have the square peg to the round. Right. We were the square peg to the round hole.
Right. But I mean, we did find a lot of beast cards.
That's true.
Guess what really assists in fighting Russia? Spamming beasts and using them. And in tandem with isolation.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. We were never fear of the lost condition.
Honestly,
which is nice.
I mean, throw in a few sky stretches, speed changes here, some clutch.
Making those powers
elemental
fast.
boon
Yeah.
contributions and slip the flow of time reclaims and repeats. There. And you got yourself a Terror 2 turn 5 victory on Russia 6.
I'm proud of it.
I'm feeling good.
This is a game I can stake my reputation on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Like
this shows my worth as a Spirit Island player.
So, wish we recorded this one, but hey, that's fine. Hey, hindsight 2020.
Yeah.
Hey, let that be a motivating factor for us to bust the camera out or something.
I want people to see how we play.
Yeah.
And just how, honestly, just like us working together and how good we are.
Yeah. Honestly, I do think that sitting next to each other at the table honestly helps with like the tight team cohesion. Because like I can look at your cards. Okay, you got this, you got that. Okay, oh, I see you went for that card. So I know you got this element, which means, okay,
and this. I'm doing this growth option.
Right. And you were using the elemental tokens, so I can see exactly what you had.
I'm earning sun this round. I'm earning moon. So then I can let you repeat. I can let you reclaim.
Yeah. So I hope you all didn't mind a little battle report here. I know it's not the usual. I know it's not the norm. But hey, I mean, if you enjoy this kind of thing, just let us know.
And yeah, tell us your battle reports.
Yeah, I love that, honestly. So we're just trying new things. I hope that's not an annoyance or a bother to anyone. I hope the new microphone setting is something that we can figure out. And hey, if there are things that, you know, you think it sounds a certain way, like, hey, just if you have advice or whatnot on how to do these kind of things better,
let us
know. Let us know. Because the thing is feedback, regardless of how aggressive it might or might not be. If you want to look at it this way, feedback is like almost always constructive. If we don't get any, then it's just like, okay,
we don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So talk to us. Do you think this dual mic setup is going to work? Does John have to return that thing?
What's going on? I still have the receipt, so
we're trying new things. I hope that's not a bother. But until next time, which will be Blitz 2.
Don't worry.
Won't be any more interruptions. We just had to talk about this game.
We had to get this game in.
Because it was the
best game ever.
Yeah. All right, so I have such a headache right now.
The Dayquil's wearing off.
My caffeine pill is like wearing off. I'm like, I can feel like the fatigue coming back. So I'm going to go just chug like a gallon of water because sugar is not good when you're like on a queasy stomach.
No.
So I'm just going to chug a bunch of water and I'm going to pass out. So
not far behind you, buddy.
All right. Until next time, thank you once again for letting us try new things. I've been Ryan.
And I've been John. And we'll catch you on the flippity flip.
Peace out.
We appreciate that you took the time to listen to this episode of the Kindred Spirit Podcast. We're grateful that you did, and we hope that you thoroughly enjoyed it. Feel free to interact with us on our socials. You can catch us on our Facebook or Instagram, as well as Board Game Geek, Reddit, and Discord. Consider supporting us on Patreon, where you'll get access to episodes early as well as our private Discord. Links to all of those will be in the description of this episode. Have a great one, and may the elements be ever in your favor.
Really? A game I can stake my reputation on?
I put everything on this game. This is who I am as a player. All my worth goes into this game.
I was kind of worried. I'm like, John, you're supposed to keep it hidden.
John, what are you doing?
That was funny.
Gotcha.
That was good. Gotcha. What have we done? See you next year.
Bye.